In an era of floating hotels and amusement parks at sea, one ship stands apart. She is not a cruise ship. She is an ocean liner, the RMS Queen Mary II. Built with 4 times the steel of a standard vessel, possessing a deep V-shaped hull and a razor-sharp bow, she was designed for one specific purpose: to cross the North Atlantic Ocean, regardless of the season and regardless of the weather. Since her launch, she has become a legend. While other ships hide in port when the pressure drops, the Queen Mary II casts off her lines. From 2004 to 2025, she is engaged in a 20-year battle with the most hostile ocean on Earth. This is the true story of her most dramatic encounters with the fury of nature. Her story begins at the very start of her career. It was 2004, her inaugural year. The maritime world was watching the largest liner ever built, wondering if she could live up to the legacy of the original Queen Mary. The North Atlantic did not wait long to test her. During her very first season of transatlantic crossings, the ocean greeted the new queen with a baptism of fire. As she navigated the Great Circle route between Southampton and New York, she encountered her first major Atlantic depression. For a new crew and eager passengers, this was a shock. The swell rose significantly, crashing against the brand new hull. Yet this early encounter proved the genius of her design. Where a standard cruise ship would have been tossing violently, the Queen Mary II cut through the waves with a heavy, rhythmic grace. She proved instantly that she was not just a showpiece, but a true warrior of the seas. Six years later, in September 2010, the stakes were raised. The ship was on a westbound crossing when the charts showed a massive red spiral, Hurricane Igor. While the captain plotted a course to avoid the eye of the storm, the sheer size of the hurricane meant the Queen Mary II had to skirt its violent edges. Passengers on this voyage witnessed the raw power of the Atlantic. Reports and footage from the decks reveal waves towering 8 to 10 meters high, the height of a 3-story building. The ocean turned into a chaotic landscape of white foam and gray water. As the bow plunged into the troughs, water would explode upwards, burying the forward superstructure in spray. Yet, inside the ship, life continued with surreal calm. The golden lion in the lobby barely trembled, a testament to her stabilizers fighting the chaotic sea. Perhaps the most dramatic chapter in her history occurred in late October 2012. The east coast of the United States was bracing for Superstorm Sandy, a weather event of catastrophic proportions. The Queen Mary II was docked in New York Harbor as the monster storm approached. The decision was made. The ship had to leave. Staying in port risked damage against the pier as the storm surge rose. It was a race against time. Just hours before the port of New York was shut down, the Queen Mary II slipped her moorings. She was running for the safety of the open sea, attempting to outrun one of the largest hurricanes in recorded history. She successfully escaped the immediate impact zone, heading east into the Atlantic. However, you cannot fully outrun a storm the size of Europe. By diverting from her usual track to clear Sandy's path, she was forced into rougher, angrier waters than a typical crossing. The ship battled confused seas and heavy swells generated by the approaching low pressure. For the passengers, it was an unforgettable, turbulent voyage. They were safe, wrapped in the steel cocoon of the liner, but they knew they were threading the needle between a hurricane and the deep ocean. 2 years later, the winter of 2014 went down in maritime history as one of the relentless seasons on record. This was not just one storm. It was a conveyor belt of low-pressure systems smashing into the ship one after another. During back-to-back crossings in January and February, the Queen Mary II faced conditions that would have broken lesser vessels. The logbooks recorded winds of force 11 and force 12 on the Beaufort scale, hurricane force winds. The captain was forced to close all outside decks. Behind the thick, reinforced glass of the Commodore Club, passengers watched in awe as the Atlantic Ocean tried to swallow the ship. The bow would rise on a massive crest, hang in the air for a breathless second, and then crash down, sending shockwaves through the steel hull. It was a terrifying display of nature's power, yet the liner never faltered. In November 2019, the Queen Mary II proved again why she is the master of the Atlantic. It was late in the year, during a westbound crossing to New York. The voyage had been manageable, but the ocean had a surprise for the final day. Just as the ship was approaching the American coast, she was hit by a violent, rapidly developing storm. The conditions deteriorated with frightening speed. The wind gauges on the bridge climbed higher and higher, eventually screaming past 70 knots, over 80 miles per hour. This was a solid force 12, the highest level on the scale. The sea state became treacherous. The sheer force of the wind ripped the tops off the waves, creating a blinding horizontal rain of spray. Although the ship's deep hull is designed for this, the movement was undeniable. The captain prioritized safety, keeping passengers indoors as the liner fought for every mile toward the harbor. Despite the fury outside, the Queen Mary II arrived, battered by the wind but undefeated, delivering her passengers safely to Brooklyn. The story does not end there. The Atlantic never sleeps. In recent years, from 2023 to early 2025, the Queen Mary II has continued her lonely watch. Even recently, in January 2024, during a winter crossing to New York, the ship faced a severe gale. The swell was so immense that the view from the bridge showed nothing but gray water consuming the horizon. The ship battled head-on winds of over 50 knots. While passengers felt the heavy shudder of the steel hull fighting the sea, the Queen Mary II arrived in New York safely, as she always does. For over 20 years, the RMS Queen Mary II has done what no other ship dares to do. She has outrun hurricanes like Sandy, punched through the walls of water of Igor, and endured the hurricane-force winds of 2019. She is a ship built of steel, power, and defiance. As long as the North Atlantic brews its storms, the Queen Mary II will be there to ride them.